early impressions of Final Fantasy 16. So yeah, Final Fantasy 16, like so far I'm 6 7 hours in, into the game, and so far are really good, very fun. I'm gonna go over quickly now impressions. So yeah, like, share, subscribe. So here we go now. The first impression is that if you played the demo, the actual save data carries over. So if you play the first part of the demo, there's the first part of the demo, then there's the second part, but the first part carries over into the main game. So yeah, that alone like is very fun. It's gonna really save you time. So if you played the demo, it's just gonna carry over. You don't have to restart the beginning again. Another part of the game is the opening sequences, the opening scenes, the opening action. This game is gonna have tons of action, and as well just the overall scale of the game, the large scaleness of the game is very epic. Tons of epicness in the game, and the fact that the epicness carries over into this thing where there's these things called dominance or dominance. They're kind of like people with superpowers, right? In this, it's like a medieval fantasy. It's like a medieval kind of Game of Thrones fantasy. But anyways, no, there's different elemental powers and abilities, right? And just the sequences, the opening sequences are really, really, really good. And another thing with the game is the fighting. The sword fighting is very fluent, right? There's dodging, there's teleporting, there's parrying, there's even you get to use an elemental ability early on. So far, like in the actual game, you only have fire. You only have the fire, but the second part of the demo, which takes place later on, like in the story, yeah, you get more elemental powers. For example, you get stone, and you also get air. I believe air is another one too as well. But yeah, another thing I like with the game, though, early impressions, is that it's gonna have these. You go to different settlements, right? It's gonna have these very slow pace, well, not really slow pace. These annoying NPC fetch quests, right? Fetch wood for this guy or whatever, and those are very boring to me so far. The good thing is that they're very quick. They are very quick, and they don't last long. Another thing with the game is 100 gigs of space, so it's gonna be 100 gigs of space. So save up space if you're on the if you're on the PS5. I know the PS5 space is kind of limited, but it's 100 gigs of space minimum to install this game. So yeah, it's gonna take up a lot of space. And the last thing you get with the game, for me so far, I can tell the story is really gonna carry this game. The story, the voice acting is really well done. The characters, are very interesting, intriguing. The although the main character can be a little bland at times, can be a little. I believe his name is Clive. He can be a little bland at times, but the characters, the plot, the scenarios, a conflict between the two kingdoms is very similar to if you watch a Game of Thrones or like a Last Kingdom type thing, right? Where just a conflict between two kingdoms, etc. So, and as well with Final Fantasy 16, some of the enemies can be a little hit spongy, so they're gonna be tanky. Some of the enemies will take like a bunch of hits before they go down. Enemies do get staggered, right? And elemental attacks, they do more damage. They'll help you like in the damage. But yeah, enemies can be kind of tanky. There's a boss where there's a giant beast, right? It was in like an early trailer or like an early demo like for the game, right? Months ago. But yeah, the enemies are going to be tanky. Some enemies are, but for the most part, the combat is really fun. So yeah, Final Fantasy 16, sorry, 16, 17 impressions. And again, this is subject to change. I'm going to make a full review. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching.